Australia Day, the bicentennial year. The First Fleet reenactment enters Sydney. Aboard are Trish and Wally Franklin, who have helped to organise it, who will soon head north to set up a new vision, the Oceania Project. Every year they'll take a vessel onto Hervey Bay in Queensland to observe the humpback whales who visit there. They'll put a photo ID catalogue together of the East Coast population, make recordings of their songs, collect environmental data on the bay, and take a lot of paying passengers like me to meet the giants of the deep. They run an inspirational voyage. I should know, I've taken 3. When I visited them at their Byron Bay home, I asked Wally and Trish what they'd seen in a decade of chasing these creatures who have no set home.
It's an interesting thought that they have no set home. It's true. I mean, basically, their home must be very much related to the group. They're an extraordinarily close group of creatures who work in small groups of 2 or 3 that extend into larger family groupings of pods or clan groupings of pods, we suspect. I've never thought about that before, but yeah, what does home mean to a whale? Well, maybe home for them has a great deal to do with knowing who they are and where they belong in the group, and maybe that's one of the things they do with song. Nobody yet has cracked the code of what a whale song means, but I mean, if you sit and listen to whale songs for a period of time, you're in awe at how remarkable their compositions are, how intricate, how fresh. Each year when we put the hydrophone down for the first time, it's incredibly exciting to hear what's happened to the song. And we now have 7 years of consecutive song patterns, and it's like listening to a completely different hit record every year. It's so different, but it never loses the freshness. I mean, it's so there's something going on. What it is, who knows? But I've often thought about what it would be like to be a whale, and I have this intuitive feeling that the song is very much what binds them together as a group. Because if you were on your own, say with your mother as a young whale, and you could hear the song of other whales ahead of you, behind you, to the left and to the right, and we know that they all sing the same song, and that song may very much represent who they are and where they're at, and being aware of the presence of the others through song might be something that binds the group wonderfully together.
Certainly we are getting a sense that there are some prime mothers that are coming in every 2 years to have with a calf, a new calf. And last year we recognised a mum who'd had a calf within 1 year, yearly. And to us it seems like that Hervey Bay is really like a kindergarten, a nursery where they can play around and really interact with each other and also get to know each other. Yeah. I mean, if you can imagine those mums and calves travelling down to the Antarctic, and more than likely they would have quite a big space between them, because some calves are slower than others and so on. They don't get much opportunity to meet male and female, the young calves, and Hervey Bay provides that. Because we've actually recognised that some are female, some are male calves, and they're interacting with each other. Then when they get down to the Antarctic, they're feeding, and then they turn around and come all the way back again. So it's like getting to know each other on the run. What we've seen is that the mums come in with the calves, and maybe for the first 2 or 3 days they're feeding and resting, but then the calves start playing. Flapper really is a very appropriate name for the calf, because Flapper went into great activity doing lobtails, which is tail slapping. And at one stage, the calf was just crashing down on the mother's head.
Whack! Yeah, whack on the nose for you. Yeah.
it seemed to the people watching that she didn't care too much. When the calves at play, the mothers just continuously follow and have a lot of tolerance and patience. The mother often uses her nose, her rostrum, to push that rostrum underneath the calf and lift the little calf up, and then the calf rolls off. And it's just a nurturing behaviour with mum and calf.
Does that feel when I do a little bugger? You get a peck slap across the head.
On one particular week, we saw 3 mothers and 3 calves going out, leaving the bear together. And the mums, like the calves, would interact with the mothers and interact with each other. So it was like each mother trusted the other mother to be near her calf. And they were playing, and the two or three cows were just playing and breaching and tail slapping and going all over the place. And the mothers, again, just followed. And then from time to time, the mothers will break into a lobtail and tail slap.
The escorts, are they necessarily males competing for the attention of the mum?
No, not at all. There is a theory that the escorts are usually males competing for the basically the courtship of the mother. But what we found is that there's often been subadults and females and males coming into mum and calf and trying to play with the calf. Sometimes the mum's comfortable with that. Other times she just constantly keeps the calf and the young subadult, or yearling as we call them, away from the calf.
We see a lot of behaviour that's very strong behaviour, whales in quite intense chasing modes with each other. What's the purpose of that chasing? We see situations where whales will fill their mouth with water and ride up on another whale and pound themselves down, water streaming out of their mouth. So yeah, there's a lot of strong behaviour, but we don't see many wounds. We do occasionally see wounds. We saw several mothers last year, for example, with quite strong wounds on the top of their dorsal. But very rarely do you see wounds. And often, I remember one occasion where we had a group of whales come to the ship, and they were in a very intense chasing mode, and in the middle of them was this little calf. Well, on board the ship, the mood of the people was divided into 2 quite distinct schools. One group felt the calf was playing with the big lads and having a lot of fun, and the other group felt the calf was in serious trouble and was the object of the chase.
Listen that. See that? See that? Listen to
They're teaching them how to play.
Oh, look at that. Did you hear that, Wally? It's just talking through its blowhole.
So you had these disparate interpretations of what was going on. And of course that's one of the challenges in understanding what whales are up to, is not too readily projecting our own emotions and our own feelings upon them. So certainly they involve themselves in very strong behaviour, and I've no doubt there's some kind of pecking order going on amongst probably young males, and that happens in our culture. But often after those periods of intense activity, you'll see them all of a sudden quieten down, split up into several groups of 2 or 3, and go gently on their way. It's what happened with that young calf. At the end of all this intense activity, which was causing deep consternation amongst the people on board our expedition vessel, they all stopped harassing each other and went off in small groups, seeming to be very comfortable and peaceful. We'd love to know what's going on.